Hey everybody, welcome. Good to see you today. Welcome to live stream. Today we're going to talk about how to focus on what really matters. And I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes do you find yourself in a season where you feel like you're busy, but you're not productive? Your schedule's full, you're busy, you're doing things, but you're not like moving the needle. You're not doing the things that matter most. Or maybe you find that a lot of the things that really do matter to you don't end up on your schedule. And we're going to be talking about that today. In this video, I'm going to be sharing all about how to actually focus on what matters most. And I'll be sharing parts of my own story. I have a story from a few weeks ago that I think might help, and how it became really clear to me how I was doing this. We're also going to talk about 3 things that you can do today to actually live your life for what matters most to you. So I want to start with a little story. So some of you know that the 1st of January, actually the 4th of January, was my birthday. And Stevie and I took a little trip together, and we did some hiking, and we just had a great time together. We got away for a few days just by ourselves. We haven't done that in a long time. And we got out of the driveway, and I started crying. Just like unexpected tears filled my eyes. That might be the first clue, by the way. Hey, you guys, I'm so glad y'all could join me live. That might be the first clue that something has gone wrong, when you find yourself instantly to tears and you didn't expect it. And so I was thinking about it as we were driving. I was thinking, man, why did tears come so fast? And we had such a great time together. It was so good to reconnect. But what I realized is that because we have been on this journey with Thomas, we are still in the process actually of adopting Tom, who's 8 years old and has been through so much loss and trauma. And what I basically realized that in the process of trying to help him heal and help him through his loss and help him through his grief, you just let things go. And you might be in a season of your life where whatever you're dealing with, maybe it's a health problem, maybe it's loss of a job, or maybe, something with one of your kids, and you feel like a lot of important things you just had to let go, or you just let go because you kind of were in survival mode. And I don't feel like I was totally like this, but I also don't think that I fully realized how much that was affecting me, and how much it was really a burden that I was carrying, and we're only human, so we can only carry so much. So some of the things that you drop along the way are important things. And I realized that one of the things that I had basically dropped or let go was that priority of that most important relationship to me. And so it was really amazing to have time together. I can't even tell you how it has just changed. I think actually for both of us, our outlook over the past few weeks, just knowing that, we can reconnect with each other. We can hold on to each other while we're holding on to him. And it has just been a really, really good reminder. So also at the first of the year, of course, if you've been following along with my live streams, or maybe you did our Live Your Dream Challenge, I love setting goals at the first of the year. So as I was figuring out, like, what do I really want? What do I really want this year? What's most important to me? How can I make time to actually do the things that matter, to actually focus? And the concept of this video came to me because I really do want to get to the end of the year and do things that really matter. So, and I'm sure you do too. So the first thing that I think that has really helped me is just to decide what really matters and write it down. I think a lot of times we assume that we know what matters, and we assume that we're living a life that's focusing on the things that really matter. But if you're not actually deciding it on purpose and writing it down on purpose, I think sometimes we really do forget. When I am making my calendar every week, and you've probably seen this analogy, and I can't remember who I first heard this from, but it is basically like if you're going to put a bunch of things in a jar, you're going to put rocks, big rocks, little rocks, you're going to put sand, you're going to put water, you're going to fill this jar. You want to put the big rocks in first, and then you'll have room for the little rocks, the sand, the water, and all that. But if you fill it up with sand and water at first, you won't be able to get the rocks in. And the rocks are basically the really important things. And so when I am making my calendar every week, I put the rocks in first. So for me, I have to prioritize my own health, my own spiritual, mental, emotional health, so that I can take care of the people that I want to help take care of, that I want to be a blessing to, that I want to serve in my life. And so the things that I put in there first are the ways that I can make sure I'm doing that, ways that I can make sure I really am prioritizing health and sanity and taking care of my mental health and all of that. And one of the things that I started doing at the first of the year that I hadn't been super consistent with is that relationship piece. We're going to talk about that in number 2, but I always put that piece in when I'm figuring out, what I want my schedule to look like for the week. So ask yourself, what really is my priority? What is my main priority? What are the things for me that are non-negotiable? What are the things that really, really matter? And am I living my life in such a way that I'm living as if they matter? Because we can say they matter, but if it doesn't make it into our actual lives, then we're really not living up to the things that we say actually matter. So what are your big rocks? What are the things that are the big things that you want to make sure you focus on, that you want to make sure you pour your energy into? And how can you add those to your life first? How can you, take your calendar, take your planner, whatever it is, and put those things in first? For me, when I'm filling out my calendar for the week, you guys, I actually, and somebody asked me the other day, I was showing them in my coaching group, my calendar, and they're like, why do you put in there sleep? Because sleep is really, really important. And if I'm not taking care of myself in that way, I start to suffer and the people in my life start to suffer. So I put sleep, and I put make healthy dinner, and I put go to the gym and lift weights. And, so I put those actual things in there. I put my church time in there. I put my quiet time where I spend some time meditating on the Psalms or the scriptures or whatever. So I put those things in my actual calendar. I put those in first. You guys, I run 2 businesses from home, and the things that I put in my calendar first are the ways that I can make sure that I am fit to serve, that I am, have my energy and have my rest and take care of myself so that I can do the things that I really want to do. I did want to say really quick, if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for coming today, you guys. I so appreciate you watching on the replay or watching live. If you are new to me, I do want to say welcome. If you're getting some value out of this video, I would love for you to like and subscribe so that you don't miss our content. I'm Dr. Edie. I'm a physician, life coach. I'm the creator of Life Mentoring School, where I help dreamers and doers by teaching them healthy habits, purposeful productivity, and ways to live more mindfully. So I'm really glad you're here. Number 2. So number 1 is decide what matters most and write it down. Number 2, decide who matters most. This is where I was finding that I was lacking a little bit. And not out of not prioritizing the other person, but kind of out of, okay, we got to make sure that this person is okay. And for us, that was little Tom Tom, and just, he has taken priority, obviously, and as it should be. So the thing that I want to remind you of when you're making your list of who matters most is to not throw a bunch of guilt on there. Stevie and I have been doing the best we can. We've been taking really good care of him. We've been taking good care of our other kids. We've been trying to take good care of each other. We're doing the best we can. And so not throwing a bunch of guilt on there, like, oh, I should have been doing this, or, oh my goodness. We don't want to do that, y'all. We want to look back with kindness to the season that we've been in. We're all in different seasons, and we want to look with kindness to the season that we're in, and just give ourselves a little grace and a little bit of a break, and we're doing the best we can. But when I think about this, Who matters most? This may seem obvious to you. You go, oh, of course, it's my spouse and my children. It's my faith, my relationship to God. It's, the people in my community. And we all would probably say the same things. But my question is that actually how we live? Do we live as if that is really important to us? And how do we know? Well, it shows up in the way we spend our lives, the way we spend our energy, the way we spend our time and our resources. And I think what happens to us if we're not careful here, and if we don't do this with some intention, is that we end up spending time. Let me know in the comments if you've done this. We spend time trying to please or arguing with people we don't even really know on the internet, sometimes to the neglect of the people we actually love, of the people that we actually want to be spending our time with. And so, social media. So how are we actually spending our time? Are we spending, hours a day scrolling through, reading about people's lives that we don't even really know? Or are we really investing in the relationships that we know we want to be investing in, that we know matter most? And one of the things that I've been able to do that really helps me is to pick a person. And you could do this. You could pick a person of the month, or a person of the week, or a person of, every day. I tend to do this by the week, and I kind of try to figure out like whose birthday is it, or, who in my life really needs my love and attention right now. And so I just pick a person and for that week, and I write it on my actual calendar. And for that week, I really try to be super intentional about how I love on that person. So that might be a way that you could actually put that person into your calendar. It's so easy for us to take the people for granted that we love the most. It actually is almost always the people that we love the most that we take for granted. And I know that a lot of times for Stevie and I, we will, have a busy week, come and go, taking care of all the stuff we need to take care of. He's doing his medical practice. I'm running my businesses from home. We got Tom, we got our other kids. We have all the responsibilities that two people building a life together have. And sometimes the only pause that I feel like we get is, and I notice this every week on Sundays when we're at church together, it's almost like we both just kind of collectively sigh, and he'll put his arm around me at church and, rub on my shoulder. And it's like a moment. It's a moment of, oh yeah, this is what really matters. And I want to build in more times like that. So we have just been trying to do that. Let's be more intentional about, how we can spend time together, how we can connect, even in small moments, even in, moments together at church, or, taking a hike together, or whatever it is, the trip that we took together, making time for each other, really prioritizing what we say is important and not just saying that it's important. Number 3 is to decide when we will focus each week. So in my coaching program right now, in Life Mentoring School, we're not open right now, you guys, but next time we open, which will probably be the end of March, you need to get in there. We are doing amazing work right now. And we're talking all about how to create pockets of focus. So for this live stream, here's what I want you to do. Decide when you will have your focus time every week, and decide what are the most important things that you can put in that time that will really help move you toward the life you really want. Maybe it's a goal, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's, some dream that you have that you've been wanting to do. Set aside time to do it and decide when you're going to do it at the first of the week. Put it in your calendar at the first of the week. For me, that's almost always those 2 hours in the morning before anybody else gets up. I call it my dream time, my sacred time. And I have gotten so accustomed to that time that I can barely stay in bed. I look forward to that time that I know I'm going to spend doing something worthwhile, making some dream come true, working hard at something that's really important to me. And I want you to figure out when you could do that. Now, when you set aside this time, here's the thing. If you're not accustomed, and my blocks of time are usually in like 2-hour increments. If you're not used to sitting for 2 hours and doing something, you're not going to be great at it at first. You're going to get restless. You're going to want to be distracted. You're going to work for literally 30 seconds and go, yeah, this is not as much fun as I thought. It's not that easy to sustain focus and to do something that really matters to you. It's just not that easy. You're going to have to practice it. You're going to have to be willing to be bad at it for a while. I know when I first started doing this, I was like, man, where has my attention span gone? Because I had set aside, 2 hours, but literally after, 3 minutes, I'm like, okay, I don't know if I can do this. So just expect that it's going to take you a while to be able to get into the groove of really creating some focus time where you can do the things in your life that really matters. There's a secret in life that what you focus on, that's where your energy will go to. So even just writing it down, even if you do terrible at it the first 7 times you try to do it, just continually creating that pocket of focus where you're going to spend some time working on the things that really matter to you. Maybe you need to write a book. Maybe you need to get your health in order. Maybe you're working on your finances. Whatever it is, dedicate some time every week where you can really focus on that. There's all these things that I have in place that make that time really precious to me and make it kind of the most productive part of my day. But if you haven't been in the habit of doing it, I just recommend that you set aside 2 hours a week and focus on what really matters to you. So we're going to decide what to focus on, and we're just going to write it down. We're going to decide who matters most to us, and then we're going to give ourselves these pockets of time where we can really do the things that matter. So my question for you is, are you spending your actual time on the things that matter to you? I would love to know in the comments. I would love to know if you feel like, no, my time always gets hijacked from by somebody else or some other thing. And I end up being busy, but I don't do the things that I really want to do, the things that really matter to me. So I would love to know in the comments if that's you, if you feel like you really do struggle with what you spend your actual time. If you compared your actual time that you spend doing things to what you say is important, do those things go together? Or do you feel like, no, I am not spending my time doing the things that actually matter? And the other thing that I'd love to tell you about is that if you feel like you need a little more help with this, if you feel like you need help figuring out what you really want, if you feel like, my time has been so hijacked by other things and other people, I don't even know what I want. We have a great free resource for you at lifeandgraceblog.com/dream. I'll put the link for you below, but it's a free resource that can help you kind of figure this out if you just don't even know anymore. And no shame for that, you guys, because we as women, we as doers, we as dreamers, we really do want to help. And we sometimes get lost in doing things for people, in spending our time in ways that is not actually congruent with how we want to be doing that. And it's never too late to start. So I am so excited that we get, second and third and fourth and millionth chances. So don't tell yourself, oh, I'm not good at this. I'll never find a way to be focused and make my dreams come true. Yes, you will. And you just keep starting. And you let yourself be bad at it for a while. And then pretty soon you find that you're consistently showing up for yourself, that you're consistently showing up to your life in the ways you really want to. So I hope that helps today, you guys. It's been so fun to spend some time with you. I have some other videos related to this topic that we'll link for you if you want some more help with this. And don't forget to go download our resource at lifeandgraceblog.com/dream. All righty. Thanks for joining today. And thanks for sharing this video with your friends and family. Love you guys. See you next week. Bye.